It is barely few hours to the JAMB examination, also called the UTME, and here are certain mistakes that students make before and during the JAMB examination. And in the course of this video, I'm going to share with you certain tips that will help you perform efficiently and effectively and also score high in the UTME. So stick around and watch this video till the end. So passing the JAMB examination or the UTME and any other related examination depend on how much and how well you know a particular subject area, and also being able to put this knowledge into practice during the examination and also by the grace of God of the examination. So here are certain tips that will aid your preparation for the UTME. Tip number 1 is by studying as much as possible. As a student preparing for the examination, your questions will cut across the different topics in your different subject area. So hence your question will come out from everywhere of your JAMB syllabus, but you certainly don't know where, and as such you have to prepare as much as possible. So tip number 2 is by practicing past questions. So the use of past questions cannot be overemphasized, because the past questions help to reveal your strength and also your weakness. I could probably think that, oh, I've read a particular topic and I'm good in this particular topic, but answering past questions helps to reveal my weaknesses and my strength. It also shows me how a particular examination body set their exam question. So tip number 3 is by practicing what we call active recall. By active recall, when you are free, or probably could even be before you sleep, you can probably just try to think over what you have read before. Now it could be formulas, it could be laws, or it could be theories, or it could even be facts. So just try to bring back these things to your memory. Tip number 4 is by printing your examination slip and knowing the venue of your examination. There was a particular story of a girl who went to a different examination center. So when she got to that examination center, she was told that that is not her particular examination center. So she was redirected to her own examination center, and probably that examination center could be far away from that particular center she was, and probably she might even experience traffic jam along the way. So tip number 5 is by taking good care of your health. If before the JAMB examination you notice any change in your health condition, it is important to seek a medical expert advice and also take your prescribed drug, because missing the JAMB examination, it means the student have to wait for another 1 year before writing the UTME, and this will delay one entry into the university. And lastly, tip number 6, you should sleep properly before the examination, more especially a day before the JAMB examination. Yeah, because sleeping is part of good health. So I know it's normal to feel tensed before the examination, but when you sleep before the examination, it helps to ease that tension you might face during the examination. Here are certain tips that will help you during the examination. And tip number 1 is that you should arrive early at your center, and this is in line with what we said that you should do before the examination by knowing your location or by knowing the venue of your examination. Also, if you know probably your center is like far away, probably a very distant location from your current location or from your resident apartment, it is important to get an accommodation close to the examination venue, because when you arrive early, you certainly know the modalities of the exam. Probably you can ask questions around to know how the exam will be conducted and all of that. So tip number 2 is that you should dress decently while going for the examination, because this will help to prevent any form of embarrassment or disturbance from the examination officer. So there are cases of students who could just dress just how they like, and probably when they get to the examination hall, they could be sent back or disturbed by the examination officer, and we don't want this, because we don't want anything that will disturb our performance during the examination. So tip number 3 is that you should know the modality of the examination. So in the JAMB examination, we are going to see 180 questions from the first subject. We are going to see 60 questions from the use of English, and then 30 questions each from the other 3 subjects. And in total, you are going to receive a total of 180 questions, and you are made to answer this question in 2 hours. And this implies that you have less than 1 minute for each question, and as such you don't have enough time, and you shouldn't spend all your time answering one particular question. This means that you should be smart and diligent in answering every question. Tip number 3 is that you should plan the subject to start with. Don't start your examination with a calculation subject, because you might end up spending all your time on that particular subject. And remember, you have 4 subjects to answer with a total of 119 questions in 2 hours. So if I have a calculation subject, I could leave that subject till the end. So if your subject combination include English, physics, chemistry and biology, it is important you start with English or biology, then you can move to chemistry and lastly answer physics. Or if your subject combination is English, physics, chemistry and mathematics, it is important you start with English, then you probably move to chemistry, then physics and lastly mathematics, because starting with mathematics means that you may spend more time on mathematics, neglecting the other subject. So tip number 4 is by following examination instructions. So this is one of the keys to passing an examination. Different centers have different instructions. So centers require you come to their venue with just your examination printout and a pencil. So tip number 5 is by guessing intelligently. In the examination, answer those questions you know first and leave those ones you don't know. Now after so many attempts and it is obvious that you don't have the answer to a particular question, now you have to guess intelligently. It's just like I'm giving a question, I'm being asked in what year did Nigeria gain independence, and I have, let's assume option A 1958, B 1960, C 1963, and let's say D 2020. So if I want to guess, I shouldn't go for 2020 because it is obvious that okay, Nigeria did not gain independence in the 21st century. So my answer should be between A and C. So in an examination hall, learn how to guess intelligently. You could be giving names or probably scientists. And okay, probably I'm giving Charles Darwin in biology, I'm giving Jean Lamarck, and I'm giving Aristotle, and probably I'm giving Adam Smith. And I know certainly Adam Smith has no contribution in biology, but let's say in economics. So even if I want to guess, I shouldn't just go and pick Adam Smith as the answer to a particular question. So tip number 6 is that you can use the shortcut keys on the keyboard. In the JAMB examination, you have 4 optional keys, which are A, B, C, and D. Clicking on A helps you to click on option A, same thing with B, C, and D. Also on the keyboard, you have option P. P takes you to the previous question. So if I'm on question 3, clicking on P takes me to question 2. So we have N. Clicking on N takes you to the next question. And also clicking on S makes you to submit. And if I don't want to submit, I can click on arrow. Arrow is the reverse, but know that your JAMB calculator is very limited because you don't have sine, cosine and tangent, and also logarithm, antilog, square and square root. So if you don't know how to solve sine, cosine and tangent of angle, I've made a video on that, on how you can solve the trigonometry of angle. And also if you don't know how to use logarithm and antilog to calculate pH, I've also made a video on that, and you can check up on those videos and get a proper knowledge on this area. And I wish you the very best in the 2024 UTME, and I also do hope that this UTME will see you through to the university and also get you your desired course.